No, we are not recording. Hey, what's up, family? Welcome back to the Melanin Wellness Podcast. I appreciate you all so much for joining me. There is always so much going on. This week has been a week, but we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics today, which is self-care. All right. My guest is that self-care guru, and she's going to help you get your life right. You understand? But before we hop into that, I like to give our 30 seconds of gratitude. Y'all know how we do around here. And just give thanks and live in that space of gratitude. Because when you are in that space of gratitude, you cannot operate in negativity. Both things cannot coexist at the same time. So I'm grateful for my support system because without them, I could not do what I do. I am grateful for new and budding friendships, okay? Because that sense of social community and social support is so important to each one of us. And I don't think that we give enough respect to that. I am grateful for the ability to provide for my family, the roof over our head, the clothes on our back, the shoes on our feet, the cars that are outside. I am so grateful for that because there are so many that are struggling and cannot do that. And I am grateful for my self reflection because if not for self reflection, we would not grow. Now, I'm going to lend the mic to our guest to see if she would like to chime in on this 30 seconds of gratitude. Danielle, would you like to add to our 30 seconds of gratitude?
I would. I love it. All right. So I am looking outside my window and I'm actually grateful for the nature and for outside and the greenery because it's so beautiful. Just looking out the window and being able to actually go out there to that
Yes,
nature,
yes.
because nature is very helpful for our mental health.
Hmm.
Um, I'm grateful for my family
Yes,
and for their support because without them, I wouldn't be where I am today.
yes.
And like you, I'm also grateful for self-reflection
Hmm.
because I feel like that's a very big thing that we need to do because that helps us grow.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what I'm grateful for this morning. Thank you for asking.
Oh, you are so welcome. And family, that might have been more than 30 seconds of gratitude. But you know what? I always say you can never be grateful enough, right? All right, so let's hop into today's topic. Today's topic is going to be self care and avoiding burnout. So many of us have so many hats that we wear, and statistics show that during the pandemic, African Americans started new businesses at alarmingly fantastic rates. I mean, we was in there. We started to truly recognize our worth, but that does come with a lot more heavier burdens to carry oftentimes, right? And so we're going to talk about how to do that. So our guest today is Ms. Danielle Turner. She is the CEO of inneryou Clinical Services. She is a licensed clinical social worker, self-care coach, best-selling author, and also a podcast host. I was on her podcast not too long ago. Amazing, 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 amazing interview. So, welcome to the Melanin Wellness Podcast, Danielle. I am so honored and so glad to have you here. Can you tell our listeners a little bit more about yourself, your business, and why you chose to start this particular type of business?
Well, thank you for having me. I am so excited to be here. I always love our conversations, so it's going to be a good time.
Me too. Me too.
So, as you said, I am a licensed clinical social worker. I am in the state of Connecticut. And I started my private practice, which is inneryou Clinical Services, because of my own mental health issues and not feeling that I was receiving the services where I felt heard and validated and understood as a Black woman.
Mm,
And I felt like my community needs to have a space where Black women can go and we
hmm.
can get what we need and feel validated and heard and understood and relate.
Yes.
Someone who can relate to us. A lot of
Yeah.
my clients, we do the same things. We are the same brunch places. we shopping in the same places. You know, we have a lot of commonality. They're
Mhm.
business women as well, and entrepreneurs and moms and wives and girlfriends. And so, you know, just being able to relate was something that I felt was really needed within the
Yes.
community.
Yes.
And so that's really what started the private practice. And then
Mhm.
through my own mental health struggles, I learned the value of self-care and how
Yes.
important that has been for me. And so I feel like my mission is to educate other women, especially women of color, on the
Mhm.
value of self-care and how impactful it can be in just everyday life. You know, we cannot continue to do all the things we do without taking
Yes.
care of ourselves.
Yes.
You know, it's
Absolutely. And it's so funny because I interviewed another guest yesterday and we got into this topic just a little. We started talking about the Black Superwoman syndrome. And listen, that conversation was so powerful because I myself have fallen into that trap so many times. And you are so correct. Our community needs healing more now than we ever have. We have so many things that are disrupting our nervous systems, and we definitely need that healing. Like that, oh my goodness. We need that healing so much. And I can definitely relate to what you were speaking about with your own mental health struggles because I've had my own struggles with anxiety and depression. And so I get it. I completely get it. So how would you talk to someone who's like really new to self-care and explain to them what self-care really is and why it's so important to their lives?
First of all, we typically, or society, right, makes us think self-care is we got to go to the gym, or we have
Yes.
to go to the spa, or you got to go
Yes.
get your nails done, right? I don't like working out. So guess what? I'm not going to the gym, right? I may not have money for the spa.
Right.
Maybe I don't like getting my nails done, right? That's
Right.
not for everyone. So self-care, you know, is typically those things that they say, you know, read a book, journal, or do some
Yes.
knitting. Self-care actually can be anything
Yes.
that has a powerful and healthy impact on you. So I
Absolutely.
always tell everyone you have to think outside the box,
Yes.
you know, because what is self-care for me is going to be different than what self-care for you. And so
Absolutely.
don't keep yourself in this little box of I gotta go to the gym, I gotta eat this, I gotta do this, I gotta get my nails done, I gotta get my hair done. Like, okay, those are great. Those can be self-care. And yes, we want to do those things because those are maintenance things.
Yeah.
But what outside of that society's box of self-care can you do?
Yes.
And you gotta think big. So if you like to sharpen pencils, get you a box of pencils and sharpen away. And that's what makes you feel good. And it's gonna
Yes.
put you in a good space, you know?
Yes.
Whatever it is, if you enjoy plants, get some plants, you know, talk to the plants, you know.
Yes.
Um, if you enjoy, you know, nature, just get outside and walk, go for a hike. It could really be absolutely anything that
So
you enjoy doing.
So self-care is more so about taking care of yourself, right? It's
Exactly.
not necessarily at any specific activity because
Exactly.
I know that for me, part of my self-care is organization. I love
Yes.
to go around my house and
Mm.
organize things and put everything in its
Oh,
place, create labels all over the place.
oh,
My
you are
Cricut
talking my
machine.
love language right now.
Listen, my Cricut machines get a work out because I love doing those things. It's so calming and so relaxing to me. Crafting is so relaxing. Listen, if you can see some of the stuff that I made for my house, because that's a part of my self-care, you'd think it came out of a magazine somewhere, like out of a catalog, because that is a part of my self-care. And you can see the love when I'm doing it, when it's on display. If you get a chance to see it, you can see like, wow, That's my self-care. Yes, I do the at-home facials. I take the bubble baths, then the candles, and I do yoga. Yoga is a part of my self-care. I do meditation. That's a part of my self-care and journaling. But for some people, that's not going to be it, and that's okay. And I
Exactly.
think it's important that people understand it is okay to not necessarily look like what other people look like on social media.
Exactly. I'm very big on the organization thing too. It's nothing to come in the kitchen and everything's out the cabinets and I'm putting it back.
Yes.
It's going to look a little different. You might
Yes.
not know where the spoons are, but that's just what makes me feel good, to have some music on and to not be so cluttered, because
Mhm.
when we're in a cluttered space, our mind tends to be cluttered.
Yes.
And I don't think people realize that. And so you come home and you're like, why am I so disorganized? Or why is my mind all over the place? Well, it's
Mhm.
because everything else is all over the place,
Yes.
and so just
Yes.
being able to have some peace and organization within your environment is very helpful to our self-care as well.
Yes. Now, is self-care something that you talk about and that you help your clients in your social work? Is that something that you talk to them about and help them create a self-care plan?
I do. I am very big on developing like an achievable and sustainable
Mhm.
self-care plan with all my clients, whether that is therapy clients or clients that are in my coaching, because those are two, very different
Right.
things.
Right.
But I use the self-care across the board with everyone, because self-care definitely can help with your mental health issues.
Yes.
And it can also help with just overall life transitions and just life skills in general. So
Yes.
and it's very important to know what your self-care is, because if
Yes.
you don't know, then you're not going to do it. And it's also
Yes.
important to have an arsenal of
Mhm.
self-care things in your toolbox,
Yes.
because you don't want to just stick to one thing, because now you're going to be bored and now you're
Absolutely.
not going to want to continue to do the self-care. One thing I always say too is it's sometimes important to schedule it out.
Mhm.
Like put it in your schedule. If you
Yeah.
are a person who sticks to a calendar, block out 9 to 10 on Saturday mornings. This is self-care.
Yeah.
And whatever that looks like, do that during that hour, and letting everyone else know within your household or whomever, this is my time. This is what I'm doing between 9 and 10.
Yes.
Please, give me that time and that space to do that.
Yes.
But
Now,
yeah.
I have a question in the way of, we're talking about mental health and we're talking about the Black community. So, how do you reach the Black community when it comes to, trying to reach out to them and get them to do, therapy? Because, therapy for so many years has been so taboo in the Black community, and it's unnecessarily so because we need it. We have been through so much. Our ancestors have been through so much, and a lot of that trauma is passed down from generation to generation. So how do you reach the community to help them understand that, listen, this is not taboo. Actually, it is a act of self-care.
It's ironic because I'm working on a series of articles right now with someone I'm collaborating in, and we're doing some articles on mental health in the Black community and
Mhm.
within the Black family. And the first article we're doing is about just that, that within the Black household, going to therapy was like a big no-no for a very
Yes.
long time.
Yes.
You don't talk about what happens in this house. Just go pray about it. It'll be fine. Or if you express your feelings, you got to be in, like kids
Yes.
are not supposed to be, you're supposed to be seen, not heard. And
Yes.
so you sometimes, unfortunately, when it's trauma, your perpetrator is still sitting right there at that table with you, and
Yes.
so you can't get the help that you need and you don't know what to do.
Right.
And so educating the Black community about just what mental health even is
Yes.
the first step. Because if
Yes.
I don't know that I even have depression, then how do I know I'm supposed to get help for it?
Right.
As Black
Yeah.
women and
Mm.
men too, but as Black women, again, it goes to that superhero, you know,
Yes.
syndrome that we have. I
Mm.
just think that this is just life. This is how
Yes.
I've always been. I've always been just sad. I've always been attitudey. I've always been irritable. So I don't know that this is wrong or that there's
Right.
something going on. So I
Right.
think the first step is just educating
Hmm.
and, getting the word out there that this is what mental health actually looks like. That
Right.
aunt or uncle that used to just be a little bit off at the family dinner and everybody be like, oh, that's just Aunt so-and-so, just leave her alone. But she's over in that corner talking to herself.
Hmm.
That's mental health, right? And it was just,
Right.
oh, just leave her be.
Yeah.
So just educating and really getting to the Black community to say, this is what this looks like. And now, once I know what it is, now this is what you do to get the help that you need, i.e., going to therapy,
Hmm.
seeing a psychiatrist if
Hmm.
needed, getting to
Hmm.
some support groups,
Yeah.
is very important, and so it's
You,
really about that outreach.
yeah. Yeah. It's so funny because I think that we all had at least that one relative in the family that we all knew that something was not quite right, but everybody kind of turned a blind eye to it and just said,
Exactly.
oh, that's just the way that they are. And that's
Exactly.
not just the way that they are. That's not just the way that they had to be. And so a lot of behaviors were dismissed or overlooked or explained away, in our community instead of faced head on, right? And I definitely think it's time for us to shift into a different space, and education is huge, 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 huge. Now, what advice would you have for someone who wants the therapy, but is trying to find someone that they more closely can resonate with, someone that looks like them? Because I know that for me, that was hugely important. I wanted someone that looked like me, because at the end of the day, the things that I'm going to talk about, the things I'm going to discuss, someone who does not look like me cannot relate to those struggles. They cannot relate to what I am saying. And so I don't want to be in therapy trying to explain myself. Like, what
Exactly.
what are we doing here? That's a whole different trauma
Exactly.
and a whole nother
Exactly.
conversation. So what advice would
Exactly.
you give? Because that is a common complaint. I can't find any Black therapists in my area or to work with. But now there are wonderful online ways to work with people. So what advice would you give to someone looking for a Black therapist? Where can they start looking?
I would say the first thing is there's websites like psychologytoday.com,
Okay.
therapy for Black girls.
Okay.
Reaching out to your friends and family, because I guarantee there's somebody that is in therapy. They may not be telling you that they're in therapy because of the
Facts.
stigma, but there's someone that's in therapy. A lot of times I found that, clients will be like, oh yeah, I told my sister she should go to therapy, or I've done told this person about therapy,
Okay.
and so they'll then ask like, who can they go to, or
Right.
my significant other now needs to go to therapy. Who do you have any resources? So really just asking the question. Start
Okay.
with, hey, does any of y'all go to therapy? And if
Yeah.
so, how did you find that person?
Right.
And then when you do find someone, interview that person.
Yes.
Ask questions, make sure that they're a good fit for you, because
Yes.
you may not always mesh with someone just because they're also Black. Doesn't necessarily mean you're
Correct.
going to mesh with that person,
Correct.
and so asking questions and making sure that you're getting what you need out of
Right.
therapy, because therapy is about you
Yes.
and your needs, not the therapist needs. And then being consistent with it is going to
Yes.
be key too. And then educating other people. So yeah, I'm
Yes.
in therapy, girl. I'm going to therapy. Danielle is wonderful. I'm gonna ask her who you can go to.
Right. Right.
And I feel like now with the society that we're in, there's so many more Black celebrities
Mm-hmm.
talking about mental health. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it helps get the word out. And
Right.
a lot of people resonate with famous people.
Yes.
And so they look up to them. And so
Yes.
they tend to listen to them a little bit more than they might listen to me and you, right? Because we're not
Right.
so famous,
Right.
right?
Shaking
I
my
know,
head.
exactly,
If
exactly,
y'all could have saw me, I was shaking my head and rolling my eyes, okay?
exactly,
Because those celebrities, they roll out the bed and put their pants on one leg at a time, just like me and you, okay?
exactly,
Just saying.
exactly. But people tend to listen. So, I'm very thankful for the ones who are now coming out to say,
Yes.
hey, mental health is
Same.
real. you know.
Same. Yes,
Mhm.
same. Yes, I definitely am loving the initiative and the movement that I see that's out there that a lot of celebrities are putting out there. Like, listen, you can get help. It's okay to not be okay because it is.
Exactly.
Because it is. Because
Exactly.
listen, it is not realistic for you to be walking around smiling and sunny and happy and positive 24/7. Let's be clear. If you are, there is something wrong.
And
Okay.
you're gonna crack real soon. Sooner or later,
Something is not
you're
right.
gonna crack and it's gonna be like a volcano. I see that all the time. It's like rumbling, just waiting. And then at
Yes.
unknown time, you're gonna erupt and it is
Yes.
gonna be that hot lava and it is not gonna be good. So
Yes.
let's stop the rumbling right
Yes.
before it even gets to
Yes.
the hot lava because you do not want
Yes.
that. That's for
No,
sure.
no, no. Because listen, those meltdowns are not good.
They're not fun.
They are
Mm-mm.
not a good, they are not a good look, especially as a business owner. Heavens to Murgatroyd, listen. Oh my goodness, you'll be exploding on your clients and on social media,
Exactly.
having a meltdown. Like, and people looking like, what is happening? Like, no, no, we can't do that. So, what advice would you give to small business owners and entrepreneurs on how to maintain good levels of mental health and putting in care self-care acts? You already talked about scheduling things, but what kind of process? Just a few tips that you can, because listen, being an entrepreneur is hard.
Yes, it is
It is
not easy.
so hard.
Not at all.
And you will have days where you feel like you're going to crack. And so give our listeners some tips if they are small business owners or entrepreneurs or even thinking of starting businesses. What are some tips they can do to help maintain their a good mental health strategy?
Set boundaries. I don't think
Yes.
people realize that boundaries is a form of self-care.
Yes.
So if your business is only open from 9 to 2, then it only needs to be open from 9 to 2. Don't stay open till 2:30 because this client is on their way. Don't overextend yourself for your clients. These are
Mm,
my hours. This is what I'm sticking to. These are the days that I'm at work. I'm not coming into work on the other days of the week that I'm not there. That would
yes.
be one. Throughout your day, weave in some self-care, whether that
Yes.
means getting up and taking a walk every so often, making sure that you're eat not I was going to say eating a good lunch or a healthy lunch, just eating period, because
Yes.
a lot of times we'll just go through the whole day and we haven't eaten anything, right? Make sure you go
Guilty.
to the bathroom. Like let's just be honest, go to the bathroom.
Please, if you're not
Yeah,
going
like
on a regular basis, if you are not going on a regular basis, there's something wrong and you need some
absolutely.
changes in your diet. I'm gonna need you to get them fruits and vegetables in there. Those are those
Yes.
natural probiotics, natural prebiotics to help keep you regular.
Just go pee. Like, you know how many days we just go through the whole day. You'd be like, oh my God, it's 4 o'clock. I haven't even peed today. Just go, just simple things, right?
Yeah,
So,
drink your water.
and drink water. I don't know what it is about water, but water does some amazing things for self-care. Just drink your water throughout the day. You will be so energized and feel so
Yes.
much better. Get
Yes.
up from your desk, take a break, especially if a lot of your work is by computer. A lot of things are now Zoom, telehealth, all those things.
Yes.
Give your eyes a break.
Yes.
That's self-care. Um, I am very big on having a business bestie.
Yes.
Have someone that you can bounce ideas off and coordinate
Mm,
with and collaborate with, invent to, because being an entrepreneur sometimes can get very lonely,
yes.
and so
Speak.
having a business bestie is important to
Yes.
our mental health and not, getting burned out. Again, scheduling, self-care. If you need to
Yes.
schedule it into your schedule, that's very important. Take
Hmm.
vacations. You're the boss.
Yeah.
You can take a day off if you
Yeah.
want
Ain't
to.
that the point? Ain't that the point though?
Hello.
Ain't that the point, to be able to just do what you want when you want or when you need to? Like, I
That
think
is,
we forget that. I think that gets lost on us when we become
I agree.
entrepreneurs. We think we're supposed to be at this thing 24/7.
You cannot have that hustle mentality. It just doesn't work. When you're in that hustle mentality, you're not being productive.
Right.
You're busy, but you're not productive. And there's a
Mm-mm.
difference, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
am I really putting in the work? Am I really having good ideas? Or am I just doing something just to say I'm doing it? You know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
you gotta be productive, not just busy. That doesn't make sense. You know, so those are just little things that you can
Okay.
do to kind of prevent the burnout. Get some rest when you
Right.
need it, you know?
Right.
It's okay. Like I said, take a vacation, take a day
Right.
off, just
Yeah.
rest, relax, binge watch Netflix for a day if that's what you need to do.
Yes.
And then go back at it tomorrow. It's okay. And
Yes.
outsource things. So if you are outsourcing some resources, you can take that vacation and still
Yes.
make money while you're not at work because you have other people working for you, or you have things that are just in automation and it's just
Yes.
happening without you
Yes.
having to do anything.
Yes,
Is
but
very
y'all make
important.
sure y'all doing good security practices though, because listen, y'all know that I'm a cyber head during the day. So listen, take them proper security practices while you outsourcing, because I ain't got time for y'all to be emailing me and messaging me telling me y'all done got hacked now.
No, that's
Nobody got
right.
time for that.
Feel
So
like I'm off the clock.
right, right. I'm on vacation. Okay.
Exactly.
Listen, I got two businesses, so I'm on vacation. Okay.
Exactly.
So, how can someone work with you? What does that process look like? How can they find you and reach out to you?
So as far as coaching services, that I can do with anyone, anywhere. So the best way to reach to find me is through email, which is Danielle Turner at inneryouclinicalservicesllc.com is my email. Um, Therapy services are because I'm licensed in Connecticut, the
Mm,
client has to reside or be in Connecticut in order
okay,
to do like mental health therapy services.
okay.
Um, but as far as any speaking engagements or coaching services, that can go through Danielle Turner at inneryoullc.com. You can email me.
Awesome, awesome. Danielle, thank you so much for this. This was so needed. Our conversations are always so much fun. I absolutely love, love, love talking to you.
Likewise.
Listen, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Melanin Wellness Podcast. Please leave me your comments and let us know what you thought about this episode. All of Danielle's socials, all of her contact information will be in the show notes in the comment section in the description of this episode. Thank you all so much. I love you so much. Take care of yourselves. And until the next episode, live well. Mwah.